Hey, everybody, welcome to the Tech-Mex Podcast. We're your hosts, Eric and Mondo. We're bringing you the top stories of Bitcoin tech and wealth so you too can front run the White House. Dale, dale.
Tell me, where are you, bro?
Uh, I'm in Surfside Beach here. It's about an hour south of Houston, near Galveston, Texas. Enjoying the sunny weather, or not so sunny weather, but
It doesn't
enjoying
seem
the
very
beach
sunny
over
right
here.
now.
It's a little
But
overcast, but it keeps it so that it's not super hot. That's a good thing, even though I already got sunburned.
hmm, yeah, I always like the ocean. In when it was when we were in 2020, everybody was trying to figure out how they're gonna pass the lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So we were this close to get a house in Padre Island. Um,
Oh,
we actually put some money down, which we lost it because we
oh, really?
we chicken out. Yeah, we chicken out. We couldn't get it out from the deal. But yes,
Hmm.
we lost some money there. But we were this close. You know what was the main problem for me?
What's
Is
that?
it's too small. It is too small of a city. Like I need access
Oh,
to an
okay, I gotcha.
international airport, and just
Hmm.
going from freaking I don't know. I guess New Brunsville is the closest airport. I guess
Uh-huh.
to then I guess you will have to go to Austin or to Houston, always to kind of go somewhere, right? So it's like, man, that
Hmm.
would be tough. But yeah, I guess that's one of my filters. It has to have an international airport close
Yeah.
by.
Well, makes sense. You're doing lots of traveling.
Yep. So, all right, let's start with Bitcoin. Dude, you saw the headline? The White House leaks sparks speculations of the U.S. Bitcoin acquisition. Dude, this has been for a while, right? Like even I knew the plan from the leak. Like in the next 5 years, they're gonna say that they're gonna get 1 million. It's like that's the same
Yeah.
shit that we actually. I think that even we recorded maybe a few months back. Do you remember?
We probably said it like at least once during each podcast over the last year, right? But yeah, no, but I don't know how they're phrasing it. Maybe they're phrasing it this way just to kind of get a little bit of excitement on it. Like you know how they were doing the sales pitch for Teslas on the White House lawn this last week. Maybe this is kind of also meant to drum up some activity for Bitcoin, which it seems it kind of worked, right? It's at 84, 85K maybe right now, and it was kind
Yeah,
of bouncing around 79, 80K for the whole last week. So maybe that's what's going on.
probably Papa Larry Fink called Trump like, bro. It's like you're gonna have to tweet something about Bitcoin because I have a lot of moolah here. so so like something like that happened because like then they start talking inside of the White House like, hey, you know what, sure, we'll do something about it. And here is what I think, and maybe even before all of this is playing out, right? So just a little bit more speculation. They're gonna try to reappraise the gold, as we mentioned it before. It's in $42 at the moment, which is ridiculous. They're gonna because their language said it's not gonna cost to the taxpayers, right? And then the accountants, what they're gonna do is what they do best. They're just gonna make up numbers, right?
Yeah,
They're gonna say
yeah,
from
that's
this
exactly right.
42, and now we move it to almost $3,000 for the price of the ounce. Then now they borrow money from central bank or whoever is willing to give that money. They get a chunk of that, and they just get Bitcoin, right? They get to their 1 million Bitcoin.
Yeah, it
That's what
makes
I
sense.
think that maybe they could do, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, because I think the whole thought behind this was that they wouldn't use any more of the taxpayers' money to go out and try and buy not just Bitcoin but anything really, right? They're trying to kind of say, okay, let how can we leverage the assets that we already have, and obviously gold from Fort Knox is going to be one of those. So yeah, I think it's a good play. I mean, if you try to draw the comparisons to how a normal person would do things like this, also the bank takes a look at what assets do you have? Like you've got a home, do you own it outright, or any other assets? If you've got a business building or something like that, They take a look at everything and they see, okay, well, we're willing to let you borrow this much money. So basically, the country's doing it the same thing on a bigger scale, and they're going to try to leverage their gold to, let's see, buy Bitcoin, and that way they start stocking even more Bitcoin into the reserve.
Yeah, for sure. I think that we give a hard time to the current administration sometimes, right? Because they're doing a lot of disruption. But what I can tell you is that for sure they stopped the war against crypto. It's like, that's something that 100% claim to this new administration, and we have seen it, right? There was like a week or so, last Thursday, Friday, we have the
Hmm.
first kind of crypto meeting, right, at the high level for the political, all of the things that they were promising in a way, you know all of the basically removing Gensler, adding the crypto czar. So I feel that all of the political pieces is humongously. We have been in the industry for a while, right? And you
Yeah.
remember that some of the rumors on politics and things, it will affect the price. I'm still a bit surprised that the price hasn't reacted well, but maybe it's because we are very tied to the monetary globally, right? To all of the
Yeah.
money flow. So we'll see how when we are actually start picking up there, and I think that right now price might bounce. And again, we are not financial advisors, only two dudes in the internet. But yes, the war against crypto has been over.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, it's that's a good sign, as like you mentioned, and it does make sense. Like the kind of the global economy, it's been kind of heavy, and even here in the U.S. especially, with a lot of the disruptions, as you called it. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Um, BlackRock always seems to have a hand in a lot of these things, so I think they're just trying to make sure that the outlook stays somewhat positive. I mean, we've seen pretty good support now. It seems like we found a bottom, a local bottom, right, within this bull run. For those of y'all that did go ahead and start getting into IBIT, opportunities to get into IBIT, pretty good right now. You can try to set up some trades. If you're uncomfortable with it, you can start doing paper trading with like Schwab or something like that, so that you can practice, gain a little confidence in terms of doing these trades.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've mentioned it to you before. Sure, paper trading, but sometimes you don't get like feel, and sometimes you assume that it's like, okay, I just put my limit order. People start just like trying to just get one extra cent, and they don't get feel, right? So
Yeah,
it's a different thing, once that you start trading for real. And also you start watching it more because like, oh shit, I have some money there, right? So you have a skin in the game.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But you know what? And I think that's a good way to dip your toes, right? If you've been kind of on the sidelines but always been curious, it's one way, because you'll find that once you do have some skin in the game, or some stats on the line, you do pay a little bit more attention. And once you're paying more attention, you can filter the stories that are real and not real. Because there's obviously a lot of FUD that goes around just all the time, just trying to move the markets. Same, not just Bitcoin, right? Even normal markets, stock market, things like that. So you become a little bit more savvy in that way, and you're able to spot things that are just trying to move the market instead of it being like real news.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes when there is a lot of uncertainty and we can see the market moving, you can see how the market is taking it, if it's a good news or bad news, and you can say, well, the market is wrong. I don't actually think that. I think that is like, even if they're wrong, unfortunately, it's your timing is wrong, right? You might be right.
It's reality. It's reality,
Exactly,
right?
it's your reality check, right? Like 100% you might be right, but once again, the market doesn't think so, right? So only, I guess it's interesting because if you will be a vampire, like freaking like Warren Buffett, living 100 years, right?
I
It's
know,
like,
right?
then you can see all of these seasons, right? And then you can
Yeah,
weather it. But most people, they need to buy a house, they need to buy a car, right? So uh, life happens, and then you need the money. then sometimes you have to cash out, and then that's depending on where you are in the cycle. So tough. If you can weather it for 100 years, sure.
So true, so true. Well, that's our update for Bitcoin this week. Something else caught my eye, kind of moving on a little bit. Did you see that Amazon Echo kind of changed their privacy policy, or they announced it this week?
Tell me more because I have a freaking echo in each of my rooms.
Oh, do you? I've
So
got a similar.
I
I've
do.
got Google Homes in most of my rooms. So what Amazon came out and said, I guess Amazon on their Echoes they had the ability to do I guess local processing or maybe something like that, where they wouldn't send information back to the to the mothership or to the cloud. But now they're saying no. Starting, I think at the end of the month, March 28th, they said that they're going to just go ahead and start sending everything that they pick up on their Amazon Echoes. It's all going to automatically get loaded into the cloud.
Uh,
So
you
that's kind
know,
of a change into, I guess, their approach.
I mean, what are they gonna do if they hear your farts? I mean,
I mean, it depends where you have them, right? I don't know. If you got them in your bathroom, that's kind of weird, but you never know. I mean, you might want to be hands free in there.
it's like people like, oh no, my privacy. Like, sure,
Yeah.
like you really think? I mean, you have privacy. There is even other countries, right? They like kind of in China, they have a Big Brother, right? So they are watching them, and now they have AI in the streets with all of the cameras. They can truly watch a lot of people what they're doing. So I don't know. I feel that I actually was assuming that it was sending data before. So like, it's actually the news is that, this is strange. I
It's
thought that they
true.
were already sending data.
Yeah, I think part of it is because they're probably going to start using all this data for their AI processing. So if they're trying to train a new AI model of some sort, or if they're trying to run a model, running an AI model on an Amazon Echo processor is probably a little difficult. So that's probably part of this push, right? They want to make sure people are aware that hey, all those farts that you were doing, they're going to be part of the AI model now. It's just kind of one of those ways just to make sure hey, people are aware, and I think that's a good thing. They're being transparent here, so I think that's a good step for as far as their company just being transparent about their plans, what they're doing, and things like that.
I Now that you're saying that, though, I think that we're gonna coin a term here. We have been coining some terms. I think that we are gonna start seeing a Web 5.0 revolution. Why not 4.0? Is fuck it, fuck 4.0. We just skip that one with AI. So basically, what happened is that I guess 30 years ago, when internet was coming up, you have all of this content, right? Just like plain content, just to be able to put it as an information. Then you have Web 2.0, which it was just your typical like Reddit, like applications, Facebook start coming up, things like that. Then a few years back, we hear about Web 3.0, which it was anything related to crypto. You start seeing Coinbase,
Mhm.
OpenSea, and all of that. I think that we're truly going to skip 4.0 and we're just going to go directly to 5.0. It's just, and what it is doing that is just freaking AI. And in order for AI, what they need is data. We have seen it across all of these different, uh, I guess, shifts on the technology. But right now, that's the reason why Tesla is doing the same. Every time that you are driving, all data is going to the to mothership, right, to the cloud. Um, Apple, the same, right? They say that it's privacy, but it's like same thing. And now you see Amazon. I'm surprised that they haven't done it before, though. Very, very
Yeah,
surprised.
it's kind of funny that you mentioned Tesla because I was looking at some of the data in my router, and there was a big outlier in terms of something sending data, and I'm like, what is that? And it said, and it automatically categorizes it, right? And it says this is Tesla. It's going to Tesla or Tesla device. It's like, what? And it's sending probably like 10 gigs of data per vehicle a month. It's like it's a lot.
Oh wow, that's a big outlier, man. Like,
Yeah, you should check
imagine if
out your
you're
router.
I might because I only have one Tesla, right? So,
Uh,
but yes, the Cybertruck. But man, that's a lot of data. Which
I'm
I
assuming
mean,
it's sending like video, right?
it's sending
Like
video
whenever
too.
I
It's sending
almost hit
video.
something or whatever.
This is my take. Maybe we will have to kind of unpack the packages to see what it's doing and all of that. But basically, I think that every time that we disengage, is very
Mhm.
likely that that they are sending that detail. Because think about it, if he's doing it right, why cannot you care? But yeah, it's probably that, and maybe maps to get maps updates,
Mhm.
things like that. So we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, that's big. And once again, I think that all of this data, it's is going through, and it's funny because now the amount of devices that you have connected in your house is massive. I mean, even before you get to my house, my cameras outside, they're recording, right? And they're sending data to the cloud too, right? You click the button for for the ring bell, sending data to the cloud. Get into the house, and it's the same thing, right? Like Alexa's in couple rooms, right? Like I'm thinking that I have maybe what 160 devices connected in my house,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Last time that
We
I
got
checked.
similar,
So
maybe 130, I think, 130, 140. And you think about it, you're
which
like,
is a lot.
that's a lot. It's like what's this? There's a lot of connections here. Well, and
Well,
okay, so we were talking about how the Amazon Alexa, right?
mhm.
Google also announced this week, also, or actually, I noticed it this week. They swapped out their normal search bar or whatever, their assistant. Now it runs Gemini, and so now it's running their AI model Gemini on the phones. And I noticed it because my phone talked to me, uh, and it normally it's like a robotic voice before, but now
Eric
it's
is
like a
so
kind of butler voice or something.
lonely.
I'm like, what? Why is this different? And now it's got like the Gemini logo. And so I guess they switched out. So now their AI model is running on the phone.
No, 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 no. Go back. Why your phone is talking to you?
Well, okay. So I don't know what I was asking something like, oh, we're at the beach, right? I was like, what's the weather gonna be for tomorrow? And I noticed the voice was different. And so I looked at it and it's like, yeah, sure enough. It's running Gemini on the phone now. And so it's running their AI model. It's a little bit different than just the normal, like it's 79 degrees, whatever, it was more conversational. Really interesting.
So it was actually it's like, hey, what are you gonna do today?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, can I provide you some, things to do in Surfside or whatever. So it is a little bit different. So I mean it's good because now I can use it maybe more as a real like assistant. I know you got what's your person's name again? Your AI person,
Sophie, Sophie, I don't
Sophie.
know why you don't remember Sophie.
Sophie's gonna get mad. Yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to get Jarvis for the house, right? I'm working on building a local system so I can get Jarvis running at home. But I've already got Gemini, I guess, on my phone. Um, But all of these companies are looking right. They're moving towards AI. That's kind of the big thing. They've got their models now, or I'm. It's being offloaded right to the cloud. I'm sure right now because our phones maybe aren't made necessarily for to run AI models. Even though Google itself, I think they do have some AI chips, maybe in the newer models, their newer phone, they probably have AI chips to be able to run some stuff locally. But this is
Yeah.
kind of what everything's going towards that.
It is tough though. It is tough because it's overwhelming for a lot of people, right? Like even for us techies, it's moving very fast, right? Like we have seen some of the shifts. It's funny because we used to work for Hewlett Packard, both of us, and you remember at launch we were talking about kind of some of the bubble, right? We start seeing more iPhones coming in and all of that. So we saw that wave. Then a few years later, we saw all of the VR headsets. And now, right now, it's just moving so fast that you start hearing algorithms almost every week popping up. So
Yeah,
yeah, moving very,
I
very
mean, a
fast.
lots is changing, and it does move fast, even for us that we're like paying attention um, to all the technology. Like even some of this stuff catches us kind of hard. Like I didn't realize Gemini was going to be on my phone already. So I mean, it's pretty cool. You just got to be ready for it, and realize the implications on privacy. Privacy does matter with certain things more than others, right? They don't probably care about your farts, but maybe they can tell you, hey, you're farting a lot today, Mando. Are you okay? You might need to schedule a visit with the doctor, get some fiber pills or something. Like it'll get smarter and smarter and be able to tell what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, but at the end of the day, people is gonna do whatever they wanna do. It's like, no, I still want to eat my bad food. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do something local. Like, well, I told you a little bit about that. I'm trying to build this hardware, partially to help with some of our podcast stuff, some potentially some development of automation, but I also want to build something where I can host some of the family's like health stuff, so that it's not held by someone externally. I want to be able to run some of that stuff locally, so hopefully there's a little bit more security around it and be able to, we've had some medical stuff within the family that happened recently, and so it would have been really helpful just to be able to ask a lot of these things and maybe download all of the medical records, put it in a large language model, and be able to kind of figure out best courses, things that we should be asking the doctors, just because you might think doctors know what they're doing, which generally, yeah, your physician understands, but you really do have to be your own advocate. That if it's something you're not familiar with, you don't even know what questions to ask. So that's one of those use cases that I think down the line might be pretty cool to have something local that's private and things like that. So we're not leaking our MRN and medical information out there.
Yeah, for sure. There is, like we mentioned it before on the poll, right? Like also it's cultural. Some people don't want to know, right? So they just want maybe empathy from the doctor. It's like, hey, tell me that it's going to be okay, even that I know that I'm not going to be okay, but that connection. So that's one. The other one, for me, I don't care that, right? Like for me, it's like, just tell me how I can get cured,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
that's true.
yes, and as you're mentioning, some doctors, they just teach them things that they study or they have seen, but sometimes they don't update themselves, right? And sometimes if you go into uh, ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever, just pick the algorithm. Sometimes it picks the latest studies, right? And it's like, hey, there is a trial with this drug which is similar or is already equivalent. Let's say like metformin or I don't know, like or maybe another even over the counter. It's like, huh, this is interesting that an over the counter medicine also it actually helps you to for certain sickness, right? So I think that
Mhm.
that's where I do feel the same. I do it as well. When I if I get something, I start just asking questions, different stories, different things, and even to support with the doctor, because sometimes the doctor, you ask them, it's like, yeah, actually it is there is a lot of things coming in those studies, but they don't allow them to actually medicate. But at least they can sometimes give you an opinion of the record sometimes, right? If you talk well
Yeah,
to your doctor.
sure. And what we've seen, OpenAI, they've got their PhD level research agents that are coming out. So I think we're seeing, like, at this point, like, we're using AI here and there to be able to at least become familiar with some medical stuff and things like that. Well, now these agents are coming out where potentially, hospital systems might be able to purchase these agents. So OpenAI, I think they're coming out with a $20,000 a month PhD level research agents. So their research teams at these hospitals are going to be able to have access to these research agents that's really able to be like basically a junior researcher or something like that for them. So instead of having to hire someone, they can use an AI agent to be able to do very similar work and do it probably a lot more quickly. That's pretty interesting. That even businesses are really starting to be able to see the use of this. It's not just consumers right on their phones and things like that.
So that's a very good question, though, which is like we are entrepreneurs by heart, right? So always, kind of my question here is like, what is the opportunity here when you're gonna have PhD agents for 20K, right? Almost basically $2,000 a month. Uh, like what you can do, right? What are the type of businesses you can make uh basically doing that, right? And we haven't even seen truly robotics, coming in, right? Which is basically you'll have Tesla robot taxis here in Texas very, very soon. Actually, they start exporting them in Austin. And then you start seeing like Tesla Optimus. So, and this I'm talking, it sounds like a really science fiction, right? But this is going to play out maybe 5, 10 years. And then you have PhDs. It's going to put a lot of stress on the whole economy. Okay, so I think that we lost Eric's camera, but let me share my screen because I think that uh that was something interesting, and it's kind of the last topic that we have for today, which is the declining of software engineering job postings. Since COVID, we lost about 70% of the jobs, meaning right now is down 70% from post-COVID peak. It's a lot. What do you think about that, Eric?
Yeah. So, I mean, partially it has to do with, or maybe not partially, but maybe fully to do with AI. We're talking about
Hmm.
PhD level research agents that hospitals are going to start using. You know, this has been a long time coming.
I feel that it's a race, right? I feel that we are seeing the new Cold War, but this is more like an AI war, right? So it's a very similar what happened in the 60s and so on. So this guy, we have mentioned it before. His name is Chamat, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Palipatihapatia or something like that. And
Palapatia.
I'm not actually
I can say it
no,
in
because he
Spanish.
has a
Palapatia. I don't know how to say it in Indian. Or is he
to
Indian or
to
is
be
he
honest,
something
it
else? Where's he
I
from?
think that he's from Sri Lanka, if I remember. But
Sri Lankan. Okay.
close, yeah, close enough. I think that you miss the ha, so there
Oh,
is a ha there. So, anyways, the other one that I have been hearing sometimes people say is shaman. No, 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 it's not a shaman
oh
or
yeah,
a
shaman.
shaman.
The
maybe
shaman.
maybe a tech shaman, but no, it's a chamad. So by the way, remember this guy in some point owned it like 3% or 5% of all Bitcoin printed, right, or minted in this case. Which the guy is basically he secured his spot as a billionaire, right, with just that. He was not a big hodler, and sometimes you will hear him saying that he just was able to make a couple deals, but yeah, that got him his first money because he was originally making his money with Facebook. He was one of the first people that that Zuckerberg um, was actually um, I guess part of his mafia, right? So, and I think that what you're saying about China trying to speed up and trying to get them in their schools is very interesting, right? Because they're trying to just make sure that the kids are very aware, so they can strengthen China's goal, right, to basically dominate the sector. I think that we're going to see it around. I think that Shamat is highlighting that our system education is way too broken, right? And now with the current administration that they want to pass it to the states, I feel that maybe the states have kind of an opportunity to be able to start adding the curriculum that they need or they want. But I still feel that maybe it's too disjointed. That I don't know how they're going to be able to get into maybe doing some AI if it's not coming from the top to saying, hey, maybe these courses you have to do it. We'll see how that plays out. What's your thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think they should have taken the opportunity when we had COVID, when all these students started to do school from home. They built up all this infrastructure to be able to do online learning. And guess what? I mean, for AI or to teach AI, a lot of it is going to be online learning, to be using the computer, to having access. One thing is there's going to be a big gap for people that have access to all the technology, and people that don't, or school districts that have it and school districts that don't. That's going to be an issue just because there's not equal access across all communities. So some people are going to benefit from that more than others. And I think in any case, it's something that we need to really take seriously. Just like in Beijing, they're saying, okay, this is something that's going to be really important for the country, for the future, for the economy. U.S. should start looking at that as well. It's just really hard just because of the way I think school works today. You're probably more familiar with that than I am because I don't have kids at school right now. So um, that's something that would be interesting to see how we can ramp something up in terms of a solution. We're already seeing that decline in software engineering jobs, like for traditional like junior engineers, coding and things like that. We need to make sure that we you know uh, meet uh, meet expectations to try and do the same.
So I don't know if you have seen this video before of Mark Zuckerberg though. Um, uh, have you seen this video before?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, so let me replay for you, right? So you have in this party, right? You have Mark Zuckerberg here, right? Boom, boom, like a. So and then it's like, uh, do you know why he did this?
Is his wife's birthday party or something?
Yes, it's something like that. But basically, he was copying Benson Boone, right? So Benson Boone was wearing a similar jumpsuit for the Grammys, and basically Benson Boone also kind of does a backflip from the piano. That's his signature move.
Oh,
Last
really?
year, I took my kids. My daughter likes Benson Boone, and we went to ACL, and Benson Boone
Hmm.
was in Austin City Limits. And dude, the guy does a good show. So and now Mark Zuckerberg is copying this guy. By the way, Benson Boone is like 22, 23 years old, man. It's
Okay.
like, yes, but what my point here is like, now freaking suck is like a chat. He's trying to become cool, like has the gold chain, like I remember a few years back he had like the meme face, he was just had like a, I don't know if you saw that picture of Mark. But yeah, I think that I guess when you are a billionaire you start becoming like cool with these guys, huh?
Well, he's got to lean into it. Lean into it.
For sure, for sure. But
You
yeah,
you want to
I
close
think
us
that
out, Mando? I'm having
for sure.
it's a lot of wind over here, so I'm going to take us out.
Yes, and thank you for watching. Thank you for all of our subscribers. Take a look on the different sponsors videos. Thank you for all of the sales, by the way. We get a ping every time that something gets sold, so that's awesome. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Dale.
Dale.
Bye.